Good morning, traders. Today is Wednesday, May 18th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. All right, well, yesterday what we were talking about was this balance area that the market had created, that we had bounced around in last week and earlier this week. Yesterday was a breakout of that balance, meaning the market was able to push its way out and then close above that balance. It also gave us a spike up at the end of the day. Both of those are very bullish to see, and we would assume continuation to the upside because a breakout of balance often leads to excess. It often leads to moves that continue to trend higher, breaking out of that balance. However, this morning, I started a little slow today. However, this morning we're opening inside that balance once again, which is bearish as a potential look above and fail of the balance area, which would target the balance area low once again. So the first order of business for the market this morning is to get its way back above 40.44 and then stay above there. Doing so could lead to a potential bullish day higher, but if it can't, if it stays down here inside this previous balance area, that increases the odds that we're going to get a sell-off at some point today to head down here and repair some of this weakness. Spike rules tell us that opening below the spike is the least bullish scenario. I would say opening this close to yesterday's low as well makes it outright bearish. If we break the low from yesterday at 40.30, I would be looking to target first the support down here at 40.15. And then if that breaks, monitoring for continuation lower to test these weak references down here. That is if yesterday's low breaks. As of now, we are trading inside yesterday's range, so some chop is to be expected, some grinding around. But if that low breaks, it increases the odds. This was a look above and fail, which is a very potent short signal. Good morning to the Shaw, MW, Laura, Greg, David, Cyrus, and Bossman. Welcome, welcome. Cortman says, push the thumbs up button if you think Charles can go up 4 flights of stairs. I sure hope he can. He signed the lease yesterday. So he's doing that every day from now on, or starting next month. Arthur, good morning to you. Amir, welcome. Hustler Forever in the house. John Lash is here. Annis, welcome to you. T-Bay, RK Leon, Caffeine, Giles, Design Knob in the house. Daniel is here. RK, hit that like button pretty please. Jack, good morning to you. Novice Trader, good to see you. Overlord is here. Scott, rough morning for the world. What with the sell-off in the market? It's not that big of a deal. We're still inside yesterday's range. But man, if we break yesterday's low, things can get messy. Ronald says, "Har." Being prosperous, good morning to you. Rev, greetings. Rugsy, good morning. Scott, if market ends up green today, Charles, I will believe your random market theory. Random market theory? Oh, boy. You must have never seen me zoom out to the daily. Prepare to see all the randomness disappear. Here we go. Balance leads to excess. Balance leads to excess. Balance leads to excess. Balance to excess. Balance to excess. Balance to excess. Balance to excess. Balance. Excess. Balance. Excess. Balance. Excess. Balance. Excess. Balance. Excess. Balance, excess, balance, excess. I can do this all day long. It's not a theory. It's called a two-way auction process. They push it as far down as they can push it. They debate it. They go back and forth for a few days, and then boom, they take it higher. Till they can't take it any higher anymore. They debate it, and then boom, they take it lower. On and on it goes. The idea behind breaking out of this balance is that the debate would be over. We spent our time, we churned around in this area, and if we broke out, we're ready to head up to the next area of balance, which is up in here, and start the debate up there. All right, so the overnight inventory was net short. As the ticks work their way back up to the zero line, we can keep an eye on what price is doing. If price can't even get back above that balance area high, but they're able to get those ticks back to the zero line, there will likely be sellers waiting to push this sucker back down. Anita, good morning to you. Arthur, Target had bad earnings. Oh boy. People not buying stuff? Must be the inflation. JB, good morning to you. Nor Auto Trader, good morning. Nicholas is here. Rocky in the house. Rachel, hello to you. Gunk is here. Boss man Charles is going to have Instacart. Use Instacart to have someone bring him those groceries. Guys, I live on a 3rd floor right now and I've never had a problem once walking up the stairs. I don't think one more floor is going to matter. Even with packages and groceries. All right, breaking yesterday's low is bearish. Why, Charles? Why so bearish? Because we're also back in balance. And it would surprise you to find that often when we get this, when the market looks above a balance area and then pulls back in, you randomly find yourself at the opposite end of balance by the end of the day. And it'll be one of those days where all day long, the market will tell you to buy every little dip. And you'll keep thinking the thing's going to reverse and go back up. And then just randomly at the end of the day, there you are. Opposite end of balance happens over and over again. And it's putting chills down my spine that we could get a day like that today. But if we were going to, this would be the first signal. Breaking yesterday's low, and now previous support becoming resistance. The market trying to push back up in that half back becoming resistance. Bearish. Okay, so we got some potential support down here in this node that obviously we've been grinding through over and over again as we've been, working our way through this balance area. We've created this very prominent area of volume here. So that'll be some support. The market will likely have to work its way through. But as long as we stay inside the balance area, the target is now repairing this weakness below. Just don't think we're going to head there in a straight line. I think it's going to be a very slow melt lower, as we do have a lot of support just below. OM, good afternoon to you. Dean, good morning. Donkey says target with a 25% haircut. 25%. Oof. Robbie, good morning to you from Germany. Guten Tagen. TV, hi to you. This is a name I'm going to absolutely murder, but Hwayanten from Israel. Good morning to you. Rocket, so you moving on up? Yeah, dude, it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. WSS, Charles, confirm you ignore yesterday's overnight low. I don't ignore yesterday's overnight low. Oh, you mean not the one from last night, from the night before? Yeah, I would completely ignore that. I mean, it's just part of all of this volume and time. There's so much in here. That's just one more random thing to look at. So yeah, I would ignore that. Today's overnight low was important, but we opened right next to it, so we'd pass through it instantly. Donkey says 4015 is the high volume node for the month. Might see some support there. Yeah, I definitely think it'll take some grind to work our way through. They'll have to poke at it and poke at it. But as long as they stay inside the balance area, the highest probability is still a continuation to the opposite end. Design up deer lurking. The deer are back. The deer. So same exact thing for the NQ. They had a spike up end of day, and they definitely broke out of balance and closed outside of balance. But they pulled back in the overnight. I would say the opposite end of balance is somewhere around 1280. So if they can't get back above, say, 12,500, or sorry, 11,800. Let me just mark these. So there you go. I'd say if you can't get above 12,500, target 12,084 as a look above and fail play on the NQ. But same as the ES, lots of support to grind through, so it'll be a slow melt lower. Scott, I've corrupted you. You're only trading the ES. Well, welcome to the dark side. Jeremy Jones, can you talk some NQ? Sure. Yeah, so same thing I said before. I see this as a look above and fail of the balance area high. When you look above and fail that, you target the balance area low, which is down here at 12,084-ish. But there's a lot of support in between here and there. So I think it's going to have to kind of slowly grind its way lower. Like I said, often on a look above and fail day like this, it creates the type of downtrend day where all day long traders want to go long. Like it's just one of those weird days where they keep thinking, okay, it's found support, it's going to bounce here, and all day long they go long and they just keep getting stopped out and stopped out and stopped out, and then you just randomly find yourself at the opposite end by the end of the day, and you're asking yourself, how did we get here? All day long I was convinced the market was going to go up, but there you are at the opposite end. So with this intense, support sitting in here, that, increases the odds in my mind we'll have that sort of day. On both the indices. I'm a lot more confident in the ES than the NQ because we've got the added bonus of these weak references. Remember, these are like little magnets pulling on the market. So you got these magnets tugging on it too. Rockingham, have you ever witnessed a look above and fail that didn't go to the opposite end of balance? Just wondering out of curiosity. Yeah, no, it does happen for sure. As a matter of fact, when you've got balance areas, the last one that ends up breaking out, let me just find some black screen here. So it's like oftentimes the market will like trade down, it'll start balancing. Let's say it's going to break lower. The last one ends up usually not making it to the opposite end, and that's the one that ends up causing the break lower. But still, for all the others, the highest probability is getting to the opposite end. So that's what you focus on. That's what you target. And then when it can't get to the opposite end, that's when you start to say, when what should happens doesn't. It should have gotten all the way to the opposite end. It didn't. That's giving me the opposite signal, right? That maybe it's trying to break out again. But I would say of all the technical signals that I look at, balance areas are the single most difficult to call. It's just very random. When the market's in the middle of one of these, it's very, very hard to predict exactly how it'll move. But you can predict that once it gets from one end, it'll go to the other. Might go straight there. Some days it just literally liquidates straight down. Sometimes it takes multiple days of slow grind. It can be tricky. Stephen got the reference. The dark side is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Anita, it was hard for me to learn to trade without bias, and still is. Yeah, I find the trick to that is just to always have alternate scenarios in your mind. So right now, I'm obviously biased to the short side because I think we're heading to the opposite end of balance. How would I know I'm wrong? Well, if we break back out, right? If we get back above that balance area high, then I can say to myself, all right, my guess that we were heading to the opposite end was wrong. Now let's look for a breakout. And so I don't need to feel any panic or fear of being wrong until we get up there in the meantime. And that can keep me focused on the highest probability. Thank you, Rev. Appreciate it, brother. All right, so the market repairing this poor low. We should get 2 more ticks of excess to the downside. Repairing that poor low will start getting us through some of this resistance or some of this support. Working our way down towards those weak references from below. All right, well, this push away from the poor low is an opportunity if you see it as such. $777 says rotation back down to the balance area low makes sense, as I mentioned yesterday on the candle chart 4 hour. We need to paint a higher low. I would imagine we're painting a lower low on the 4 hour right now. Or are you saying because we didn't print a higher low yesterday? The trade vets are here. All right. For those of you that don't know, I will be jumping off at 10:30 this live stream and jumping on one with the Trade Vets YouTube channel. I'll post a link to that here in a second in the comments. So you could come hang out and ask questions there. And then, of course, when that's over, I'll head to the regular private stream for the rest of the day. If you are a member of the brigade. So remember what I said about this type of day. It's going to be one of those days where over and over again, the market makes you think that you should be getting long, and then you randomly find yourself the market is lower. This feels like it's setting up for one of those. What will prove me wrong is if they can keep those ticks above the zero line and turn this resistance into support, right? They can start to push above and then come back down and turn that into support. But otherwise, I think they're just loading up for the next round lower. Getting as many people long as they can so they can squeeze them out. It's worth noting you not only have the look above and fail, you also have a lot of weakness below tugging on that market. Just pulling on that price. All right, guys. Well, I am going to close down this stream a little early here today, just to give myself a second to get up and running in the Zoom call to jump on Brad's stream. So what can I leave you with here today? Well, think about these buyers who keep buying this little node of support right here. Every time it pushes down, they're buying this exact level over and over again. What kind of traders do you suppose are doing that? Likely those are short-term traders. And what will happen if the market goes down and repairs that poor low and starts to push below that A-period low? Well, probably they're going to have their stops in there, and you're going to get a little flush lower. Getting through this support will increase the odds that you're going to repair this first week reference, and then you monitor for continuation. Does that, is that enough momentum to reverse the market? If not, you target the next one. If not, the next one. All the way down to the balance area low at 39.52. The alternative, if the market were to either trade higher or just trade sideways today, step one would be getting back above the halfback and then seeing momentum in the ticks trending higher once you get above halfback. But to me, this look above and fail is pretty clear at this point, and that significantly increases the odds we're heading lower to repair this weakness. So with that, I shall bid you all farewell. I posted the link in the description there if you want to come check out the stream with Brad from the Trade Vets. If not, we will see you here tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. If you haven't pushed the thumbs up yet, it's never too late, and I sure would appreciate it. Bye-bye, everyone. Looks like I'm getting the repair just before I go off the air.